Hey, what's up everybody? Chef Billy Parisi here, and today, my friends, it is going down because we are making an incredibly delicious crème anglaise recipe, which literally translates from French to English as English cream. It's essentially a pouring custard that goes amazing on pies, on cakes, and in this case, all over fresh berries, my friends. It is fantastic. And it is just about the exact same recipe as my creme brulee, which you can click up top and check that out as well. But the only difference is we're not adding it to a souffle or ramekin and baking it until it becomes firm. No, we're adding ingredients together, cooking it over low heat till it gets thick, then we're chilling it till it's a perfect sauce. You guys, this one, you are going to love it. It's also one of those recipes that used to be on a ton of restaurant menus. I mean, I made this over 25 years ago at one of the first restaurants I ever made. And I just remember tasting it for the first time, just thinking like, oh my God, this is the most incredible thing I've ever eaten. I'm sure you've had those moments before and just what they mean to you. After you take so much time to make something, and you get to experience like your labor of love, and it is just so delicious. There's nothing like it. And that's why, of course, at this channel, homemade food from scratch just tastes better, and it is guaranteed to bring more smiles and happiness around your table. And this crème anglaise recipe, my friends, is no different. So let's quit wasting time and let's get into making it. The first thing we need to do is split some vanilla beans in half. So go ahead using a sharp knife, whether it's a chef's knife or a small paring knife, split it right down the center long ways. Do this to both beans, expose all those delicious little beans in the inside where all those flavors come from in this recipe. What we're simply going to do is add them to a medium-sized sauce pot, and we're gonna add in some heavy whipping cream. Once the cream is poured in, let's go back over to the burner, and over low heat, we simply want to scald this milk. Now this is a little bit different from my creme brulee recipe in the fact that I scraped before I added those little beans to the cream, but in this case I want to get as much vanilla flavor as possible, so I'm cooking them right in the cream. They will also loosen up so they're easier to scrape. Just a matter of preference, you guys. It doesn't quite matter what you do here. But anyways, let's go back over to where our cutting board is because we need to separate some egg yolks from the whites. The easiest way that I know how to do this is by simply cracking the egg. Be gentle here because if you hit it too hard, the yolk will bust. And then sort of bobbling the yolk between each half of the shell. You want to release the whites, let them drip down into a separate bowl, and then add the yolks to another bowl that is completely separate. And you all, it's okay if the yolks break. It's not gonna change this recipe any. Once all of the yolks are added in there, all you need to do at this point is simply pour in some sugar. We're gonna give it a nice whisk until it is completely combined. And at this point, let's go back over to that burner and check out our heavy cream. Now to scald, which is just an odd word, the easiest way to know when it is done is if you sort of tilt the pan back to yourself and you look at the bottom of the pan, exposing it because the cream is tilted, you see all these bubbles form on the bottom. To me, that is a perfect indication to know I've scalded the milk, I've heated it up. It is now ready to put into these eggs. So take the cream off of the burner, go over to your cutting board, and the first thing we need to do is get those vanilla beans out of that cream. So use a spoon or a knife, whatever you've got, and simply lift the beans out of the cream and add them to your cutting board. And just like I said earlier, use the knife to scrape out the inside of all that goodness. Once all the vanilla beans have been scraped, add all of that right back into that heavy cream. No need to whisk it because we're gonna do that in a second. You can simply discard the bean pods, throw it in the trash. And now we need to temper the eggs. What this does is slowly add cream to the eggs so that they don't overcook and scramble. You want to just get them up to temperature and get them ready to add the rest of the cream in. So just add about a cup of cream to the eggs, give it a nice whisk. Once the cream has been infused and combined, go ahead and slowly pour in the rest of that hot cream with the vanilla beans. Whisk it until it is completely mixed in together. And now what we want to do is add it right back to that sauce pot. So go ahead and pour it right into there. Once it's all in that pot, back over to your burner. Now let's stop here. You guys, you're gonna need patience and a strong forearm and your favorite whisk because we're gonna be doing a lot of whisking. Be sure your heat is at low. If you've got a simmer function, even better. Crank it down because this stuff can turn in a second. You're gonna have scrambled crème anglaise and you're gonna be cursing me out and you're just not gonna be happy about it. Trust me, I've burned this thing 1,000 times. A really quick story. I thought I was a professional at making crème anglaise. I went to culinary school, we got to baking class and they said, Billy, you are gonna make crème anglaise. I immediately thought, dude, I've done this so many times, I've got this. I burnt it 4 times, made scrambled eggs crème anglaise. 4 times, you guys, in front of my chef. How embarrassing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've done stuff similar to that, man. That's just a part of being human. That's just a part of not paying attention too. So pay close attention and have some patience here. Whisk it over low heat. What I like to do is sort of make a figure 8 with the whisk very slowly, making sure I cover all the bottoms of that pot just so nothing is sticking. Continue to mix it. Now there are a few things you can do. If you feel like it's cooking too quickly, too fast, too hard, just simply whisk, take it off of the heat, whisk it a little bit, and then you can put it back on the heat when you feel confident that nothing is scrambling. Now there are also 2 ways to know when it's done. If the temperature is in between 182 and 185 degrees, you are perfect. Boom, immediately pull it off. Another way is a super French technical term called nappe. What you do here is after you whisk it, go ahead and add a big spoon in there, toss it around, and then flip it over so it's the back side. Run your finger right through the center. If the sauce does not drip through that little mark where you rub your finger, that's called nappe. That is perfect. We are at a great point here. Head over to your countertop. I've got a big bowl and a chinois, which is a fine mesh strainer. You're gonna need some cheesecloth or a really, really fine strainer here. Go ahead and strain all of this goodness right into this bowl. Once it is completely poured in, we're going into the refrigerator. It's gonna take about 90 minutes for this crème anglaise to completely cool, and it's also gonna thicken up even more. It's gonna be fantastic, you all. While the crème anglaise is cooling, we've obviously got some time. I'm gonna prepare up some fresh berries. And when it comes to berries or just about anything, I can't tell you how much I believe in getting things that are organic. That's the way they intended to be grown and eaten and made, not loaded with all sorts of stuff. And especially on berries, they can collect a lot of pesticides, so we're obviously going to rinse those as well. But man, if you ever get the chance to buy organic, I definitely just can't push you further enough for that. It's something I believe in. It's something I've literally have believed in more in the last few years because, 20 years ago when I was in the restaurant industry, it really wasn't quite a thing yet. But now more than ever, I just really believe in getting food that is naturally grown, and it's just better for you guys. Spend the money on it now so you're not spending money at the doctor later. Okay, so what you want to do now is I'm just going to slice up some fresh strawberries. As you can see, I've already got blue, black, and raspberries. Just add them to a strainer, head over to your sink, give them a nice rinse on all sides. Just wash off any just excess stuff that could be on there that was in the packaging. Then remove it. We're gonna check on our creme brulees and plate this beauty up. The creme anglaise is nice and chilled, and you can see how it has this just beautiful viscosity. It's just nice and thick and rich, and dude, you're gonna love this, there's no doubt. So to plate this up, what I'm gonna simply do is pour some of this creme anglaise all over some berries. You can serve it up in a bowl, in a wine glass, you can do whatever you want here. I'm just gonna top off with a little bit extra fat, my friends, with some heavy whipping cream and a little bit of mint, and the flavors that come together with this are absolutely incredible. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, drop me a comment below, let me know what you think, and definitely be sure to check out this video. I'm gonna get into this. Until next time.
It's amazing.